you can see, we got a bit of a snow overnight, and I figured this would be a great opportunity to answer a question that we've been getting a lot on the channel since we brought camels onto the homestead. The question is, ask Homesteady, how do camels handle the cold? This is Ask Homesteady, the weekly show that we do where we answer your questions that you leave here on the channel. If you want to get a question answered, just leave a question in one of our videos in the comments section with the hashtag AskHomesteady. I apologize for the wind today. I'll try to talk in between wind gusts. So today's question comes from Caitlin. Caitlin said hashtag AskHomesteady, how are camels in the winter? And Caitlin was not the only person to be concerned about the well-being of our new livestock out here in the cold wilds of Pennsylvania. Obviously, camels are not native to Western Pennsylvania, where we get strong winters and cold temperatures, and so a lot of people were concerned that bringing camels to Western Pennsylvania would not be a good idea. We would have issues with them in the cold. Camels actually do great in the cold. So think about the way a cooler works. A cooler does not keep your food cold. No, it does keep your food cold. A cooler will keep your food cold, but it does not create cold inside of the cooler. It is insulated, so if you put cold food and ice in your cooler, it stays cool. If you put hot food inside of a cooler, it'll stay hot because the cooler is an insulator. It doesn't create cold temperatures or warm temperatures, it just keeps temperatures where they are. Camels are good coolers or insulators. So our camels, they do great in the desert. A camel does great in the desert because of the way its hide is and its coat, and it can really handle the hot temperatures really well. But think about what happens at night in the desert. At night in the desert, temperatures plummet. Camels don't leave the desert at night. They stay there in the cold temperatures. Our specific camels are actually from Michigan. So as far as how will our camels do in the cold temperature, it'll feel warmer to them here in Pennsylvania than they had it in Michigan. So our camels are gonna feel like they're back in the desert. Right, Solomon? Why? One other issue with livestock in the winter is the issue of water. Obviously, having frozen water troughs makes all livestock harder in the winter. But camels are actually easier, because camels do not have to drink as often as other animals. You don't have to have a water trough thawed all the time for them. You could fill up a bucket for your camels to drink out of once a day, let them get a good drink, and then they're good. Some camels can go days, even I've heard weeks without having a drink of water. I'm not suggesting if you have camels, you don't let them drink for a week, but camels are gulpers. They drink a lot at once and then they can live off of it for a while. Now the really cool thing about our camels, they have learned to use our automatic Barbar A drinker. Those Barbar A drinkers are awesome. There's a link right there if you want to get one. These automatic waterers are an on-demand water, energy-free, frost-free. The camels can go over, push down on it, and drink from it. We weren't sure if they were going to figure out how to use it or not, but we put the camel camera out here to keep an eye on them in the yard, and I got footage of them on the camel cam using the Barbar A drinker, and that's how we learned that yes, they will be able to use it even in the cold days. They can come over and get a drink. She's using the water. The only thing to consider about camels in the cold weather, in the colder climates, while they are very well insulated and they don't mind the cold as long as they've already adapted to it, you wouldn't want to take a desert camel and bring them to New England right away. As long as they have water to drink, they can, they don't have to drink as much, that's good. The one thing you do have to consider, camels do not like to be wet. So if you're getting a snowstorm or a rainstorm, you want to make sure they have access to a barn. Right now they're out in the yard. but they have 24 hours a day access to our barn where they can walk in. If it starts raining or snowing, they can get out. If they get wet, they'll get depressed, and we don't want any depressed camels. We like happy camels. Call this it's time for our second Homesteady camel train shout out. For the next 100 days we are doing 100 videos. We've already got a couple down, but we're doing a daily video to share the journey that we're having starting our camel dairy. So many Homesteady fans have helped us start this camel dairy by joining the Homesteady camel train. When you join the camel train, you get a lifetime membership to the Pioneer Library, pay once, access forever. You get this awesome camel train t-shirt, and you also get a shout out on the show. And today's shout out was Cathleen. She was the second person to join the camel train. She, like, the minute we announced it, she was in there. And I want to tell you a little bit about what she's doing on her homestead. I love this because I always love when I hear that people are in an urban environment, but they're still homesteaders. And Cathleen says she's just an urban homesteader doing her thing for her family's health. And she joined the camel train because she wanted to show support for our journey, trying to get our family a little bit healthier. So thank you so much, Cathleen. That was so nice of you. She says, best wishes on your health journey and new adventure. It is definitely a huge adventure, and we appreciate the good wishes. So thank you so much for joining the camel train, Cathleen. Keep your eyes peeled for your one-of-a-kind Homesteady camel train t-shirt. Your little camel will be the number 2 spot in the train. It'll be highlighted gold to remind you that you were the second person to join the camel train. If you'd like to join the camel train, click right there, and you can be a member and you hear your shout out on the channel. You can share your social media links if you'd like to. You'll get the t-shirt. We thank you so much for your support. So that's Camels in the Cold. Hi, Millie. It's okay. And if you want to get a question answered, hashtag Ask Homesteady in your question in the comments below. That way we can find it when we look for it. Good things will happen. How's that?